I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas,
and faithfully discharge the duties of Stafford County Commissioner, District Number 2.
and faithfully discharge the duties of County Commissioner, District 2.
So help me God.
So, you might have to break that last sentence into smaller deals.
Oh. Okay, then I need you to sign that right there. Perfect. See, you didn't hurt, did it? Thank you.
Have they started on the, Jesse started yet?
He's hoping to get here tomorrow.
When you're up?
Road crew got everything moved out of there yesterday.
Did they take that over to Carolyn's building? Did they take the stuff over to Carolyn's?
It's over in the storage room for now. She doesn't want it, so I don't know what to do with it.
I saw she was posting something on Facebook.
Well, some old printer or something, but it's over here in the kitchen today, so I don't know what she's doing.
And on these tax roll corrections, appraise prior to correction, appraise after correction, that's just, they just corrected,
Chances are the interest is in the wrong name.
yes,
And like if I had it and I left it to 3 people, it has to be split.
yeah.
That's what typically it is. Morning, how are you? Hey, can you bring me another mouse for this laptop? This one died finally. Yep, whatever. Do you have one in stock?
Big police presence
Okay.
this morning in town.
Okay, perfect.
They're all in glass.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Nah, just the mouse for this laptop. Thanks. Yep. No, and Todd is
No.
very headed because of his computer.
He hours
He's
in
really
the
been
class.
over that.
Yeah.
They have 40 hours a year,
Wow.
so. I just,
Okay, I'll tell
him.
Okay,
All day
thanks, bye.
today, but they canceled it at 4 o'clock yesterday.
I thought you were gone today.
They canceled it at 4 o'clock yesterday.
Huh. Here's the resolutions you're gonna have to pass.
Was the meeting in Topeka? No?
No, talking about the class that they're in.
Yeah.
No, they're all over here in Shelbyville.
Oh,
We had a instructor come here. There was enough people interested between all the towns and around here. We opened it up to other agencies, so I think we got 10 or 12 over there altogether.
I tell you, having a stick run up your nose isn't fun.
That's what Carter
So did
said.
you ever test positive?
No,
Okay.
no.
How come you go and got tested?
Well, because we were with her on Saturday, helping her move her Christmas decorations, and was in her house for about 30 minutes. And so rather than fool around,
That's probably smart.
I thought, go ahead.
On the tax roll corrections, you know, I understand. Is there that much oil changing hands? Because it seems like we've got a ton of tax roll corrections all the time. as long
Yeah,
as I've
this
been on
time of year we
commission.
do.
But I mean,
Well,
it's just every year.
mhm.
Oh,
It's because on those, I mean, those division orders come a certain way, but yet throughout the year, Uncle Bob dies, splits it between his 15 heirs, and we don't know it till we get the new rendition, which comes, you know, so it's just a continual
okay.
thing. And with the personal property, it's a stupid penalty she sticks on there, and then she takes off half of it, so.
If you, where you're supposed to tell, she sends out the deal, it's supposed to be in by May 1st or something,
Yeah.
March 1st.
Yeah, so it's just the nature of the beast. We're always gonna have them.
So does all other counties have to fill that out every other,
Fill what out?
fill that sheet that she sends out every year?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they do. I don't know how else they keep track of all that.
Yeah.
I look for them to do away with personal property someday. Doesn't bring in that many tax dollars.
Well, look at that demand.
All typed up. You must have an old typewriter. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah, I got that in the mail today. They're
It's all-
usually the last one.
All typed in?
Did you notice that all three board members get paid?
I think we did.
Then Mrs. White also gets paid?
Okay.
So she must be the,
Yeah, I think, because
This
Cindy
check
mentioned
writer,
something about
bookkeeper?
it yesterday.
I didn't know that was happening.
So we'll have to get you.
That's the one Tom Fisher's working
Probably.
for. I wonder if he's gonna get done.
he is, I mean, I've heard Tom do a good job with it, yeah. He'd probably enjoy it.
So 170, yeah.
Guys said they found that saltwater line running through that culvert.
Oh, really? Didn't have any salt there going through, did it?
I don't know.
Was it that black plastic one?
They didn't tell me that, I just told Paul and Danny Reiser, because I said, I don't know why it got Reiser on a saltwater line to begin with, but,
Yeah.
I saw somebody found a saltwater line down there on the
oh,
county line.
yeah. On 80th.
Yeah,
down there.
or 80th, yes,
80th, West of Russell.
Yeah, south of Gates Under.
There's all sorts of pieces of pipe down there,
So-
they found it before.
What was that? I
There was
couldn't
no-
think of where it
You
was.
guys just look
Yeah.
at it.
It
That was
was
a good thing. If you
no,
guys
it
don't want to look at
was,
these, you don't have to.
Natural gas line.
Oh, okay.
There were so many of those things running. all
Yeah,
over.
probably for an irrigator going from those wells to an irrigator.
If we have a concern about a township, you keep them on file, we can
Oh,
always ask to look
absolutely.
at it.
But if you don't want to look at it, there'll be 20 more of them.
Oh, they were bored,
Yeah. Kurt always wanted to look at them,
so.
so.
Yeah, you know, when Mitch said they were gonna build up that road, and they wanted to take trees out on me,
Oh,
you know, that was fine, I wanted to do my part. I didn't realize that when they get to Mitch's property, they're gonna stop and not build any road there, because that road doesn't need built.
we need to go and see.
Do I have the holidays?
So, I mean, it's just a half mile.
Resolution.
And then where, at Mitch's property in Bowles, where the shit's growing over the road, there ain't nothing wrong with that road. That's what I thought. I thought we were doing the whole mile, and everybody was doing their part.
Well, that,
No?
Okay, I'll print one.
yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go into session.
Okay.
So we need to reorganize.
First order, you need to reorganize your board.
I make a motion that we appoint, or elect,
Appoint.
appoint Clay as chairman of the board.
Did a motion and seconded that I will be appointed chairman of the board. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Do we need a new vice chair?
Yes.
I make a motion, we appoint Todd Wyckoff as vice chair.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, we appoint Todd Wyckoff as vice chair. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Do you want to do the transfers?
I am not ready to do the transfers because I'm not comfortable doing it.
Okay.
We do have the annual resolutions, there's banking, there's cash basis, and then the official newspaper. I just went with the Courier again. They're locally owned and great to work with.
Do we need to do these resolutions separately?
You can do them all at once.
And do I need to tell what they are, just to
I
let the numbers
write
out?
it in the minutes.
Okay.
I've already got it written, actually.
I make a motion that we approve the resolution 2021-1, 2021-2, and 2021-3.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the pass resolution 2021, 1 through 3. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
So we've got minutes, and then, I believe, are we ready to appoint Logan?
Yep.
Okay.
And we use the Stafford Courier just for the fact it's so much easier to
Yeah.
communicate with them and get stuff into the paper.
They're great to work with.
You go through the minutes, Anita.
Yep.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from the January 6th, 2021 meeting.
I second that.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes of January 5th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay.
Tax roll correction. Make a motion that we approve the tax roll corrections.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the tax roll corrections. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay. Okay, here's the resolutions.
Okay.
They're not in order.
Hi, Mike. I got something to say there. Let's go ahead and do Logan. Kind of explain that, Bryce, what you got going.
He's gonna be the clerk. I need to resign though, right? Do I need
No,
to formally resign?
Kurt already resigned.
Oh, okay, yes. Kurt Kiesling resigned. So that's my position, and I move that we appoint Logan Bear to Ohio Township Clerk for my position.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept Logan Bear as
Ohio Township Clerk.
Ohio Township Clerk. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
And Kurt is going to be the treasurer?
Kurt's the trustee.
Yeah, Kurt's the trustee and Kim is the treasurer. So it'll be Kim, Kurt, and Logan now.
Okay. So do we need to appoint Kurt?
Kurt was elected.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
There's a
then
lot of
Kurt
people
resigned.
confused. I had some calls
Yeah.
after that meeting where we accepted his resignation.
People don't remember who's in what spot.
Yeah,
So what's the difference between the clerk and the trustee?
there isn't much.
There's not.
So why did Kurt want to change it?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. If he wanted to be on on the same election cycle as Kim? I don't know. Ohio. Logan Bear is now on it. Okay,
And the transfers, we'll have them next week?
Maybe.
well, we're just not comfortable doing it yet. We've got some things going on. When I'm ready to do them, we'll do them. When I'm comfortable. I just
Do we
don't,
need to do an executive session so we have a better idea what's going on?
more the same.
Okay.
I just don't want to have to do them and undo them.
So
Which Melissa tells me we have up until audit time to get these done.
So it's not the transfers
I
that
just
we
want to
have a
make
problem
sure,
with, we're just not sure if we get the money in the bank.
I just want to make sure my numbers are pure.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten with all the department heads, we agree on the numbers, but I'm just uncomfortable on the banking.
So how far behind are we now?
Well, we need to do year end. It's a long story. Anyway, Philip,
You ready?
please.
Oh,
Don't laugh at me.
I'm not laughing at you, really, I'm not.
I'm with you.
Just make-
I understand your pain.
I know you do. I know you do.
I don't know what you want to talk about first, but we'll get that on the truck and then there's this on the over. But I had talked to Cody about mowers, because I did not want to get into the position they were in last time. We're into the month of June, July before we got mowers. It's not very, very good to switch out mowers and out on the road.
How many mowers do we have?
We have three.
How many do
Two
you
15
use?
foot. Well, we use all three. And then I'll explain that. But anyway, we have that 1 10-foot mower that came from Rose Valley Township when we did it. It's a 540, it does not mow as well. I don't like to use it other than on the township stuff. This is a quote for 3 mowers. And they would all be 15-foot mowers. And Cody said that the tractor, the little tractor that we got from Rose Valley Township would be able to pull it mower with okay. It would at least give us an option of, we would have a breakdown. We have not had any breakdowns of these mowers, very few. I mean, they've been very good. This is a 6-year on the mowers.
You said you have two 20s right now?
We have
Or two
15s.
15s? Okay.
And I can get you a equipment list if you needed it, some point price, I'm sure these guys got one, I can get you one.
They're probably like just a Batwing CX-15 or something.
Yeah, it's just one is just one way, but
They're the flat top where they're easy to
Yeah.
blow off.
Yeah.
How long have we been running mowers?
5 years. and then we
How
got-
long do you think we should run mowers?
I don't think we better run them another year.
I'm surprised you're getting that much trade-in on them.
So, well, we take care of them.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think people realize how many miles those
well,
get.
every mile we mow is 2 acres.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they ran from June until Christmas this year, last year, I guess I should say. So I mean, and actually it gave us a pretty good deal on the other mower because it's 10 years old. The 540 is 10 foot.
You know, years ago, they used to buy a mower and a tractor at the same time. And it was
And I did ask Cody about how long ago on the tractor, because that's just, that's what he does. And he said probably another 2 or 3 years, whatever, look at it.
It's a little frontal assist.
Yeah, there's the front wheel, it's just 6145s and the small one, and they're M's, I believe. And the 6115 is D.
Yeah.
So that, the two are 145 horse and that's 115 horse?
Yes.
Yeah, that 115 on handle like good. How many hours do you think we trade those off at?
The hours on the mower?
No, hours on the tractors.
Oh, well, that's what I was talking to Cody about. He said, we probably ought to look at it in another 2 or 3 years. So not, he said that he wouldn't go to the 10-year cycle one, because I think they've got, and I did not work there before I came on, prepared for that one. But the hours I give to y'all, 3,300 hours on the tractor right now in 5 years. Because we bought the tractors anymore, same time last night. And, you know, and actually he set them up where we should get a pretty good price on those too when we trade them. Just for the simple fact that they could be a loader tractor.
Yeah, he's probably wanting to trade around 5,000, I would say.
Yeah, that'd be kind of problem, I think.
And, yeah, and then another 2 or 3 years it'll be close to that.
This is just one truck with,
Were you hoping for 3?
yeah, with amount of paper, I was hoping this is,
Yeah, they took a lot of pictures.
and that's with a salt spreader.
That's with the stainless steel salt spreader, 12-foot reversible plow. There are some things on there that I talked to him about to see if we do decide to go that way, we can delete because it's got 2 400-pound pre-wet tanks on the spreader that we don't use. We just don't have the capacity to do that, and we don't, you know. Because for too long, I think I'm gonna be down to probably about 2 spreaders. Just for the simple fact of it, well, you saw it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, they are at the end of their life cycle, and their life cycle has been very good, actually. The price of trucks just keeps going up. A few years ago, I did this, I think it was about 158,000,
158.
and this is at 188.
Did this come from another highway department?
No, that's actually off the state bids. But it's
Oh,
not
okay.
state spec. So it is a brand new truck. I mean, state, we did piggyback off there, and all
Yeah.
that stuff's done. But there were some things that I would like to bid if we can, if we less. I don't see a need to buy 400 gallon poly tanks to spray on the sand and salt to put it down. I think it's in the picture.
Oh, right.
See the white poly tanks on the side of the stainless steel spreader in the back.
Your 6145Ms, they're probably around 2016s too, aren't they?
Yeah, they were the same age as the- we got.
So the mowers basically have 30-some hundred hours on them.
Yes,
That's, I don't think that's an unfair trade price.
so,
by any means.
he's coming to his good job on us on price, I mean. And we stick with it, we stay with the John Deere just because of price,
Yeah.
price, the convenience of
Yeah.
right up the road.
Getting parts and blades.
Parts is not been an issue, we haven't had, there's a 5-year warranty on gearboxes, and actually this mower, it has the capacity to have the discharge reverse, so, I don't know, I'm sure you saw some of the heavy residue last year.
Yeah.
The house spun up, it was right next to the road,
Mhm.
and this will stop that. It will just give us a lot cleaner and better look out there. It will look like we did something instead of just, it looked terrible. I'm not gonna say, you could see, I mean, you got
Yeah.
eyes.
Clumps and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's the way it is, there's not much you can do about it,
I don't see the final page that has the price
but on which one?
breakdown
On that, on that?
yeah, as far as what the truck. I mean, it tells all about it, it tells the individual deals. Can you see?
I didn't see that price.
Okay.
You have a ton of pictures.
Let me see the mower.
Yeah, because actually it didn't have a snow plow on there or the spreader. That was just all about the truck there.
On this?
On the
Yeah,
truck.
it just, well,
Yeah.
it must.
Because I got the price from when he wrote me this email.
On the front deal, it's talking about the snowplow, 12-foot snowplow, salt,
That was stainless steel salt spreader.
yeah.
And then, yeah, and then you get down to toward the bottom, it's
For pre-wet
pre-wet
system. Yeah.
That's something that I don't,
You want to exclude that?
yeah, so actually, we don't use panel hitches. We have nothing that has a panel hitch. So, I mean, if I could, I would delete that too. But it would be just like the truck you see right there, the state.
Yeah.
Other than it would be white, not orange.
Or yellow.
Road
Yeah.
watch pavement temperature sensor. What the hell is that?
It's stuff that some of the state trucks use just for so they know where and when to put down. Some of this stuff.
But I mean, we won't need that if we're not.
No, if we could delete it, we would delete it also.
Because I mean, basically all we do is go around and do the intersections. We don't really
Intersections,
do-
sheltered areas, bridges, curves. So, yeah, we're not doing what they do.
Yes.
We do.
It gets
I mean,
to a certain-
It's
certain-
cost prohibitive for
Yeah.
us to do that.
It probably gets to a certain point.
Yes.
Start spraying.
Yeah. But that 188,000 I got in the email is what I got, so I'm asking for some clarification on that.
I know we've been buying trucks, usually used trucks with 300 or 400,000 miles on them. But then we've got to send them off, where Dave West used to mount the blades. I mean, what kind of cost comparison?
I think, but, and I didn't pull these figures before I came, this is just off my memory card, so. We had about 100, probably 125,000 in used truck when we got it all set up with the new, we put a new plow on, which is a reversible plow. That's another thing, our plows are so heavy.
Their steel plow won't be that bad.
No, because it's a reversible plow, and so a lot of the road damage you see off of a new seal road, when we do it, you'll see those cut marks from the plow dragging rocks. I mean, they heal over, it's all cosmetic to begin with, but, I mean, they do heal over, but it would stop a lot of that, scuffing off of the.
When you say reversible plow, what do you mean?
It will go either way.
Oh, so you tilt it.
Yes, and it's a lot better for cleaning out intersections and doing things, I mean.
And the new truck's 185. I wonder what the.
188.
188. I wonder what the cost of the spreader is.
I would just have to get them from him. I thought they were in there, but they're not. I just got this late yesterday afternoon, so I really did not get a chance to go through it very well.
I was surprised, you know, when you turn in your mileage reports, I mean, on the dump trucks, they usually do get between 32 and 34,000 miles a year. I don't think people realize how many miles.
And they're hard miles, I guess. I mean, there's so much stopping and starting.
How much money do you think you will probably sell the truck you're replacing on Big Iron or something, or what?
I would say it'd probably go between 20 and 25. Maybe more than that. I really don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think, one thing about it, if you buy a new, I think you guys, I mean, unless you're gonna be here in 25 years, I don't think you're gonna be looking at replacing this truck.
Yeah.
If we buy it, I don't plan on replacing it.
Yeah, I mean, how long have you had your spreaders now? I know when we were out there looking at
Some of the spreaders were the late 80s and early 90s.
but when we were out there looking at them,
They service well
Yeah, but they're,
But they're.
They look like they're battery fault.
They are.
and we've been
they're
lucky
not-
to have pretty mild winters
Yeah.
in the last few years, but
And actually, we have sprayed, and we have, sandblasted them down, painted them, and cut out some stuff, put it in there. But I don't think we can do that, I think it's past that now.
yeah.
Is it possible, I mean, if we get this spreader now, and a few years later, next time we get a truck, we get another spreader, is it possible to go from 3 spreaders to 2 spreaders? Could you do all the spreaders, all the spreading on the intersections with 2 trucks?
Yeah, we could, it just makes it a longer day.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's entirely possible.
But I mean, if these spreaders are running us $45,000, I mean, it would be nice, you know, the guys gotta put in a little extra time, but they'd have nicer spreaders they don't have to work on.
Yeah.
It's just the optics, you know, the deal. I do think it's probably better to buy new, especially where we get the governmental discount. And it'll last us a lot longer.
Yeah.
Because buying a truck with 300 or 400,000 miles on it and then paying $5,000 to get a plow mounted on it.
Yeah, it's,
I wouldn't mind, unless you guys will go up today, I wouldn't mind wait till next week when maybe you get a breakdown for
okay,
us.
I'll get it for a breakdown.
You know, like what the plow's gonna run us, what the truck and what the spreader is, because it's a lot of money.
I'll kind of put it on hold, but I mean, because he said this is their last truck they have this year. And I don't think he was trying to pressure him, he was just telling him that because,
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah. No, I don't tell him that. And, yeah, I would like to see the other 2 bid, I mean, the plow on there and the spreader, to see what they're doing.
I mean, I would think that spreader could be 20, 30 grand, couldn't it?
Oh, yeah, the stainless steel.
Or
yes.
more, I mean.
I mean, originally when we bought the highway spreaders, which are just metal, regular painted metal, they were $12,000.
Yeah.
And that was 35 years ago.
Yeah.
But they might have went up.
Yeah. And actually, the stainless steel, the spreader we got is actually an old state spreader. But it's, they hold up. The only part
Yeah,
that's
stainless
left
steel
on
hold up
is
better.
the slat chains.
I would bet you this spreader's like $35,000-$40,000.
I bet so.
I'll bet you they're between 25 and 30.
So you could very easily have 50 grand worth of
Attachments.
attachments on a, you know, that makes your dump truck
Yeah.
70 some, or almost 80.
And then this truck is live hydraulics, which none of the others are, except for the last truck we set up at International. We did go to the serious live hydraulics on it, and it's a lot better setup
Yeah.
than the old PTO units. So, yeah, I would call him to get that set for him to come back next week.
So you want to do the motors today?
Yeah.
Is it
good.
urgency?
I mean, we need those, if we can, we need to do that so we can get them. Because he's talking about April or May, just.
So that's 40,000
For 3.
for 3.
Are you good with that?
Yeah.
Do you want to make that motion? You want me to?
You go ahead.
I make a motion to approve Bill to purchase 3 new mowers and trade in our 3 old mowers to BTI John Deere for $40,000.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded, as is stated in the motion, that we purchase the mowers from BTI for $40,000. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Do you need to sign this, or?
No.
Do you want anything else off of this meeting?
No.
You want to take that, Bill?
Unless you want.
So you want the price of the tanks
Yeah, spreader,
and the-
spreader. Yeah, and I will ask, and I will try to have that,
and the blade,
yes.
but the truck itself, by itself, is 188?
No, that's everything.
That's everything.
That's the plow, the spreader, and the truck,
Hmm.
with basically tractor, board, basically all we gotta do is put the plows on. And, put the radio on it, and it's Reno County's been doing this for a while now, buying off the state side.
Yeah.
Barton County did not, I know, they were a few years ago. About 4 or 5 dump trucks.
Well, as far as used spreaders, they're probably pretty hard to come by.
Yeah, they
Unless
are,
it's
you
a
gotta have to
state.
find somebody that has bought the state truck and does not want the spreader.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
It's
what
just like
about-
when the last truck we sold at auction, we put the plow on it, or it went with the plow and I don't think we had a spreader on that one. But, we did that and the guy said, well, I don't want it. I said, you bought it.
Yeah.
Just so we don't have to mess with it. So you guys might, we're gonna run out of time before he gets busy and other things, so you guys at some point need to talk about when you wanna go for a mini tour or tour for a day or whatever.
Next week will be fine with me.
Tell me what day, and I'll make sure I have room in my pickup.
Well, we could take the command center. I mean,
Yeah, well, I don't know if we wanna get off on any sandy roads. But we could get help coming, that's true.
yeah. Okay, we'll do that.
So, okay. You guys got anything else?
Nope.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
You wanna do the electrical bid?
Yeah, we discussed that last week and decided to wait till you get back.
Oh, okay.
You know, Meyer Electric's $40 cheaper, but then I do have concern with any time we have problems on the weekends, Saturday or in the evenings, we always have Davis's run out and do it. So I mean, I think that ought to be taken into consideration a little bit, I don't know.
It's whatever you think.
I'll let Bryce make the motion.
It looks like they're pretty
Pretty
pretty much the same. I was trying to make sure we were comparing apples to apples.
Yeah, I mean, I explained it to him exactly the same way, so
Yeah,
it should be.
I do agree with Todd. I think that as a contractor, that means something when you get called out on Sundays, Saturdays and Sundays. I make a motion that we approve the Davis Electrical bid for $1,720 for some receptacles, changing light switches, and some work to be done here in the annex.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the bid from Davis Electric for $1,720 for the addition to receptacles in the annex. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Okay, the other quote that you have,
Last time.
Randy and I have been working on, finding a good solid backup system for the courthouse so we don't have the issue we had before. That's what this quote is, that is in front of you. If, I really can't explain it to you. He says this is top of the line, state of the art, and it'll work great for us. He's just not wanting to have the same thing happen ever again. I would like to add the extended warranty on there for 4 years. So it'd be bringing the total for all 32, for 32 terabyte storage server, which would be totally separate than our regular server, but this would just be for backups.
So in our last one, when they were downloading, sticking the disk in there, it just wasn't reading it and they didn't realize it wasn't reading it?
Not for over a year.
Was it because our old deal wasn't working right, or because whoever was backing it up wasn't doing it right?
Those tapes are portable, and I always thought they were kind of clunky, but my office, we didn't do that. But, I mean, if you don't stand there and wait to watch the green light come on and hear it spool up,
It doesn't transfer.
no.
Okay.
And this server is gonna be in the room
Mm-hmm.
behind your office.
And he'll have it to where, I will know that it's doing its job, Lisa Weber will get an email, he will get an email. It'll throw, like warnings if something isn't right, so we should all know.
Okay.
We just can't go through what we went through again.
Yeah.
You could just call this a storage server?
Yeah,
I make a motion that we approve the quote from RC Computers for a new storage server for the courthouse for $1,610.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, we accept the quote from RC Computers for a new server for $1,610. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
I have the holiday schedule too, if you want to look at it. Do you have anything?
Holiday schedule.
It's the board of the day, huh?
So are these the days, the holidays that we,
Designated holidays in the handbook.
so we get off, you guys basically get off one day for Christmas?
Well, Christmas falls on Friday,
Okay.
so I gave us the 24th off.
So why do you guys get one day off for Christmas and the extension gets 11?
That is not my deal, Todd. I knew you were gonna ask that.
I like the 11.
I can go for the 11.
Yeah, how many paid holidays is it? Do we get a total of 11 for the whole year?
11 or 12, I think.
Yeah.
And they get that in one city.
I used to get 15 and then have one floating day that you could choose any time. So I have 16 days.
We need a
Some
motion.
employees would like to have Good Friday off, but
You guys okay with this?
that's.
Well, yeah, it's just a formality.
I make a motion that we accept the Stafford County holiday schedule for 2021.
Second.
Moved and seconded, we approve the holiday schedule for 2021. All in favor, say aye.
And the reason I do that, Bryce, is so that Phillips guys know, or any of us, when they can schedule vacations and stuff around the holidays.
Yeah.
Instead of constantly asking, well,
And
do
we
we
got
get
extra
this day off or that day off?
There's been points where we come up 2 days before or 2 weeks before 4th of July, and if it's on a Tuesday,
Yeah.
then they want to know if they can get the Monday off. And like if it's on a Thursday or a Tuesday, you get one more day and it makes a 4-day weekend.
Yeah.
We did not talk about, I didn't create a resolution for mileage. Our current mileage rate is 48 cents a mile. I think the state rate's 56. I mean, honestly, we don't have that many that go anywhere, especially now. So I thought it would be fine just to leave it at 48. I mean, it's up to you. If you want to raise it to 56, whatever. Like I said, and we've got that little pickup now, if somebody does go, they can jump in it.
I guess what would be an example of,
Like if I go to a meeting in Wichita and drive my personal
and drive a
vehicle,
personal vehicle?
I would get paid 48 cents a mile,
Okay.
or Hayes, or wherever.
Occasionally, we have to send a dispatcher when they go.
Yeah, the dispatchers have training,
Guys
but
don't.
like I said, obviously last year, we didn't we didn't have any. I mean, we had some, but not like we usually do, but
But that new vehicle for the appraiser's office, that's kind of for the whole courthouse.
that's was the agreement when we bought it.
Is that the way it's worked out?
Well, nobody's gone anywhere.
Okay.
Can
And with
So,
if the dispatchers needed to go, could they use that?
yeah,
Yep.
I just need to get with Carl and get the keys, basically. I mean,
If you raise it to
56.
to 56, it's like $15 extra going Wichita and back.
And that's-
Personally,
So,
56 is the feds, isn't it?
that's the IRS right now. If you want me to do that, I can do a resolution so you can consider it next week. I didn't need to make that resolution up.
Has anybody been confined
No.
to anything?
No.
yeah, I
Just
just
leave it the
did
same?
Okay.
over $15.
Then if you go to a meeting or something and use your car, you
Yeah.
can charge mileage. Would-
Like if you go
Yeah.
to, if they have your commissioner conference, you would turn in mileage.
But having
You
a,
can turn in mileage. A lot of times, most of us don't,
Yeah,
but
but having a little bit cheaper reimbursement on your mileage might, I mean, it's silly to have a new vehicle sitting here that nobody
Mhm.
uses.
yeah, or, like I prefer to drive my own, that's my choice.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
A lot of people are just more comfortable in their
because
own
if I go to
vehicle.
the mall, I don't
Yeah.
have the county vehicle sitting there. I'm serious.
Yeah, that's
You know what, we
another,
might get a
Why?
phone call about that.
it's actually lawn.
Yeah.
That's why they have a magnet.
Well, yeah, when you go to people plan their trips, I mean, if I go to Wichita, I'm gonna have 5 or 6 different things to do.
Exactly.
I want to get in my own vehicle too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't do salary resolutions. I'm assuming no raises this year?
No.
Okay. That's what I thought. So. Other than that, do you have a
We're
salary?
waiting for Shannon?
I got that step increase.
Oh, Rob got something.
Got one.
Anything we want to talk about? Okay. Or not elected? Or just put it on the same?
This is the original.
Yeah.
One that we need to sign. What I have here is just a step increase for Milan and Mercer. From range 6, step 6 to step 7, range 6. She's done a really good job since she's been taking over as a dispatcher supervisor. We don't have any of the problems we used to have. Everything's gets done on time. We don't get a call from the state that, why is this thing in, why is this thing in, so she stays on top of it.
I make a motion that we do a step raise increase for Milana Mercer from range 6, step 6 to range 6, step 7.
Second.
It's been moved and second, we increase on the Mercer from range 6, step 6 to range 6, step 7, effective the 1st,
January 1st?
January 1st. Ross,
Yes.
effective January 1st.
Yep.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
But you just get a copy from you later for the file.
Today's date, that date.
Yep, perfect timing.
You,
Morning.
You?
I didn't know if anybody else was going to.
You don't want that, so. Okay.
you bring us good news?
Oh, I don't know. So, we did get 30 doses of vaccine, just a couple days before Christmas for phase 1. We've given out 10 so far. So the vaccine has to be given in groups of 10, the way that it's dosed out to us. So they're in 10-dose vials, they come frozen. We have to thaw them out, and then once you access the vial to draw the first dose out, you only have 6 hours to get the rest of the doses out of the vial. So to try not to waste any doses, we've been scheduling people in groups of 10 so that we can make sure that we get all 10 doses given rather than wasting them and throwing them away. So we got 10 doses done last Friday to some healthcare workers in our county, and some first responders. We've got, I think, 8 right now on a list, so we're hoping to finish off that set of 10 so we can give some more doses this week. I did get a phone call from Kingman County, and that's where we got our doses from last time. KDHE delivered them to them in kind of a hub and spoke type deal. So they received vaccines for several different counties and then had to distribute them out, and ours were sent there. So Doris actually offered to go down and pick them up whenever they arrived last time. So she brought them up here to us. I got a phone call this morning that they were notified they were supposed to get quite a few doses today. I haven't gotten any notification of that, so they're thinking that maybe it's another situation where they're gonna distribute them out to us. So I'm waiting for a phone call from them to hear. I think that those may be our second doses for our healthcare workers. So I haven't heard anything about phase 2 vaccines yet. But we did put advertisements out on Facebook and in the newspapers for people to start calling so that we could get them on our list so that we can start scheduling people to get the vaccine. So we've had quite a few people call, and we're going by these phases that KDHE gave to
But you
us.
do have quite a few people calling and.
Yesterday I think we looked just to kind of guesstimate how many people had called, and it was over 100.
Wow.
We started out before we advertised for people to call in and get their names on the list. We started out with like 60 people, and it grew to over 200 really quick. So we're getting lots of phone calls to get on the list.
So you said you've done 10, the first batch was 10, it was mainly healthcare workers.
Yes.
You got the second batch of 8 already. Is that also basically all healthcare
Healthcare
workers?
workers, yeah, that fall into phase 1.
So do you think we'll use up all 30 doses on healthcare workers?
Yeah, I was kind of slow to give them out because the hospital didn't receive theirs yet, and they really need those too because, I mean, they're doing testing, they've got ER patients coming in, they've got people coming in and they're inpatient, so I didn't want to use all the doses we received if they weren't going to receive theirs because I wanted to make sure their staff got vaccinated too. They got their doses on Monday, so yesterday I started vaccinating their staff.
And that their doses aren't out of our 30?
No.
Okay. I was just wondering how.
I just wanted them, since we only got 30 and they have about that many staff that needed them, I didn't want to use all of our doses before I knew that they were going to get doses because they really needed their staff to be vaccinated. So now that I know that they've gotten their doses and they're doing their vaccines, we'll start getting the rest of our healthcare workers done. That way we'll be ready for phase 2.
Okay.
And the
if we
team
have
that got
any,
theirs didn't have any reactions. Everybody did really well with it, so.
and if you get all the healthcare workers taken care of and it's like 25, then you'll take the last 5 and start doing it at the assisted living facilities?
So our assisted living facilities signed up under the federal distribution list, so they are getting theirs through that. I know that Leisure Homestead had already started getting vaccines for their residents and their staff through that. And I know Kenwood was supposed to be getting theirs, I think, next week.
Okay. Okay.
So they were already kind of covered since they'd signed up the way that they have.
So it sounds like phase 2 might not be that far off.
I really don't think so. It's what we've heard from KDHE is to plan for February. So if it comes sooner than that, I think we'll be fairly prepared because we've got the list going. I mean, we know a pretty good sized group of people fall into that phase. And I still think with the way that we have to give the doses out within that time frame, we're gonna call people to schedule times. That way we know we've got sets of 10 coming in. Because I don't want to waste a dose if we can help it.
Yeah.
So,
And if somebody cancels, you'll always have the
More
backup
people to
list to
call.
call somebody and say,
Yes.
hey, you're next in line, we got somebody
Right.
cancel.
yes.
What is this congregate settings
So,
what-
what,
on phase 2?
yes.
Persons age 65.
The way that that is listed out is like licensed childcare. That would also have like the schools. So
The
the
teachers and
teachers
stuff.
would fall into that category, which St. John's School has already provided us a list of teachers that want a vaccine. I know Maxville is getting the list together, and I'm pretty sure that Stafford is also. So
Would courthouse fall into that?
yes, because you guys you have a lot of people coming in and out of the
Do I
building.
need to get a list?
So yeah, if you want to get a list together, just send it to us. We'll,
Because Okay,
yeah.
How big of a window do you have? Because that's a two-step vaccine, right?
Yeah, so
2
it's
months?
28 days apart. It
So
has to
you're-
be 28 days or longer.
So if it goes out 35,
It's okay, so.
it's all right. Okay. I didn't know how narrow that window was.
And if you don't get your it's like a booster shot.
Yes.
If you
so
don't, say you don't get your booster at all,
You just
is there
don't
any-
have as many antibodies as
Okay.
you could
Yeah.
have.
You don't increase your percentage.
Yeah.
So the efficacy that they got out saying, so we have the Moderna vaccine. The efficacy for that one is 94.5%. So if you don't get the second booster, you're not going to have that,
75,
yeah.
65.
You'll have some immunity built, but it won't be the full potential. We did see our numbers decline. They came back up over after the holidays. Trying to remember how many we got 5 yesterday and 2 this morning. But we had some recover too, so I don't remember the exact number just because I was taking phone
it's
calls.
probably like in the 20s.
So we're in between 20 and 30 someplace
Yeah.
still is where we're sitting. I have noticed a decline in mask use out in public places, and I think that's probably because of the numbers falling. KDG is still pushing out that after getting a vaccine, you should still wear a mask. Part of that is because it takes 2 weeks for you to build antibodies after getting a vaccine. That's just how it works with all vaccines. So it works the same way with this one. And also with it not giving you the full potential of antibody buildup with just one vaccine, they're recommending wearing a mask still. After getting the second dose, I don't really know what their recommendation is yet.
Yeah, we're really not there yet.
No.
Even the healthcare workers that have gotten it, you're not 28 days.
Right, they haven't gotten their second dose yet, so.
Yeah. Are you still doing your contact tracing via email and phone?
Yes, and.
How's that working?
We're running into a lot of people not giving us contacts anymore.
Okay.
So, I know like on our updates, we have on there how many people have isolation quarantine orders. It's fallen dramatically from whenever we first started because people don't want to give us contacts. They'll give us their household contacts, and if they have to give us ones for work, they will, but otherwise they're not giving them.
Yeah.
So whenever they don't want to give us a contact, I just make sure, and I mean, all 3 of us are making those phone calls, so all 3 of us are telling them, if you're not going to tell us, that's fine, but you need to contact the people that you've been around and you need to tell them to watch for symptoms so that they're not spreading it past where it could stop.
Yeah.
Because that's not all that we can do if they don't want to tell us their contacts.
Well, I think they're embarrassed. I
That
mean,
could be.
they know they're sick, but then they didn't adhere to the rules, and then, yeah, I would hate to fess up saying, well, gee, I went to,
We have, yeah, I think that's a factor, and then I think it's also a factor of, I don't want somebody to be upset because they have to miss out on work for 10 days.
I think that's most of it.
Yeah, if you're a county employee and your friend comes down with coronavirus and the 10 people that's come down with it before that and 10 other friends had to be quarantined and come down with it. And then if county employee has to get quarantined because they're around a friend and they gotta use their vacation days, they probably don't want to make friends mad and be a burden.
So, I mean, I understand the not wanting to give out contacts because I can understand all aspects of why. But I truly want people to actually reach out to those people and let them know, hey, I tested positive, you probably ought to be watching out for symptoms and being careful so that you're not potentially coming down with it and giving it to somebody else unknowingly. So that's about all that I've got right now.
Is 30 the magic number for us? I mean, I imagine there's some population deal where we got 30 doses the first round. So I mean, you think like second round we'll probably get 30, or I mean, do you think those numbers will change?
So whenever they asked me to do the enrollment form for it, I didn't know if we were getting a bunch of single doses or if we were getting multi-doses. So I had to look at our refrigerator and try and make a decision on how many doses we could store. And it kind of was ironic that it fell whenever we have all of our flu vaccine, because this is the time that we have our fridge and our freezer the fullest right now. Without having flu vaccine, we have a lot of storage, but whenever we got the flu vaccine, it takes up an entire portion of the fridge. So I had to go based off of thinking we were gonna get single dose vials and how many doses we could store of single dose vials. So I put down 50, because that's how many I felt like we could safely store if they were single doses. Well, then they were multi-doses, so we got 3 vials. I was thinking we were gonna get like 50 little vials that I was gonna have to store somehow. So now that I know that it's multi-dose vials, I did go ahead and reach out and update the amount that we can store to 200, because I feel like we can store 20 of those vials safely. So hopefully, now that they've gotten that from me and updated our enrollment, we'll start getting more doses than what we got the first go around.
So do we have one of the freezers that goes down to 70 below? When you say, I mean, we're storing it out at the pharmacy, is that correct?
No, so we got the Moderna, and that's the one that can be stored in a regular freezer, and that's what we got as a regular freezer. So we won't get the Pfizer since we don't have the storage capability for it. The pharmacy said that they ordered storage for it, but I don't know that they have the super cold storage yet to be able to store the Pfizer.
Okay.
So I know, just based off of what I put on our enrollment form for our storage and how many doses we could have, we'll probably continue to get the Moderna, because we can store that one. And that's what the hospital got also.
I've heard just from a lot of different citizens that they want the Moderna one. I'm not really up on the Moderna or Pfizer, which one, you know, has which, but I haven't heard any bad things about the Moderna one. It seems like everyone's like, oh yeah, I want the Moderna one. I have no idea why, that's just something that
I mean, I've looked at pros and cons on both of them, and they seem pretty similar, really. The
I guess,
only
yeah.
major difference is the storage of it.
Yeah.
So, I know, like, the surrounding counties did get Pfizer because they had the storage for it. And I know several healthcare professionals that got the Pfizer, and they did fine with it too, so, yeah. So hopefully I'll hear back sometime today about whether or not we're receiving more doses. So Kingman County is supposed to get back to me to let me know, so hopefully we'll know this morning. And if they get the doses today, somebody will probably run down there and pick them up and bring them back so that we've got them here, so we can keep going.
So Shannon, on the people who received the flu vaccine in the county, wasn't it around 400?
I don't remember how many we've gotten. I know it's significantly less than last year.
It was less.
We did about 900 last year before we had to be finished and ship doses back.
So hopefully we'll get more for the COVID vaccine.
We have had a few people like still coming in to get flu shots, so we still have a few stragglers coming in to get flu shots. And I mean, we're still within the time frame of getting flu vaccine. So if anybody hasn't got one, they can still come in and get one. We have plenty of doses.
What is the magic number for herd immunity?
That
What percentage do
don't
they
know.
use?
I'd have to do some research on that to
Yeah.
know very well.
I think I heard 70% once, but
Off the
I'm
top
not
of my
sure
head, I
if
was thinking 70 to 75%,
Yeah, I'm
but
not
I
sure
don't
if
know
that's
if
true.
that's correct. I need to look that up. But, I mean, this morning, we were already getting a bunch of phone calls to get on our list, so I know that, and I think once the newspapers come out, we'll get even more
Yeah.
people calling to get on the list.
So when
Word
you
of
get,
mouth is happening too.
when you get the vaccine, do you also get the syringes?
We did with our first 30, but whenever I was talking to Kingman County this morning, it doesn't seem to be that's what's happening with this next shipment. So, I did early on order a case of needles and syringes because I knew that a vaccine was coming. And then it was hard to order needles all of a sudden, so I had to reach out to our regional manager for the medical supply company that we ordered through, and he had to allocate needles to us. So I did get that done, so we can order 5 boxes every 30 days, so that's what I'm just gonna keep
How many's in a
doing.
box?
200.
Okay.
But I was a little bit concerned because we give immunizations still regularly. I mean, any child that needs immunizations still comes in and gets them. We can't be without needles. We have to have those regardless of COVID vaccination. So,
But as long as it doesn't get any tighter, I mean, if we can continue to
Yes.
get 5 boxes, then it shouldn't be a,
it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
So, yeah, now that I have those on our allocation list, I'm just every 30 days gonna just order 5 boxes. That way I know we're sitting okay with having those supplies. I can order syringes, no problem. It was the needles that were the problem. So I've gotten a solution to that issue, thankfully. But what Kingman County told me this morning, they had talked to another county that had received their doses already this morning, and all they got were cotton balls with the doses.
Oh, along with the vaccine.
Yeah,
Helpful.
really helpful. I mean, it could have at least been Band-Aids or something like that that would have been more useful.
Well, it used to
Cotton
look
balls.
like they were a kit. It was the.
Yes,
the
what we
shreds,
got
the
was
pledge.
needles and syringes, the doses, and then the cards. And they also were saying that they didn't get cards this time. And, I mean, if you've already given out all the previous doses you received, I mean, we got 30 cards and that's it for the 30 doses that we got. So if you've given out all of those and you don't have cards, you don't have cards to give to people now. So I guess the solution to that would be, we have to put it into the Kansas reporting system like we do for all the other vaccines. So I guess we just print out their immunization record and give it to them for their documentation. Because they didn't send the cards,
So these cards had the lot number of the vaccine on it?
So it's a little card, and you put their name and their date of birth on there, and then it has lines just specifically for COVID vaccine. So you put which manufacturer, the lot number, the date that they were given the dose, and where the dose was given at, like what facility. So, I mean, it's not
It would
that
be
big
easy.
of a deal really to not have the card, but that's what we were giving to people whenever they got their dose, so that we didn't have to immediately sit down, put it in the computer, and make them a printout. Because whenever we go to do a mass vaccination with these phases, it would be handier to be able to just write it down on a card and give it to them so they can go ahead and go along their way, versus us having to have a computer and a printer sitting there so that we can get on the system, put their information in, and print out an immunization record for them. So it's just, it doesn't seem to be.
Oh, we
Can you
could
make
copy
your
it.
own card?
That's what I was gonna say,
I
we
mean,
could replicate the card.
I mean, if I can make copies of we still have some, so I can make copies of what we've got sitting at the office right now so that I know we've got them, so that we can just keep making copies of that to give to people. Because, yeah, they told us that every time we got doses, we would get cards to go with our doses, but it's sounding like some counties aren't having that happen. So I don't know if it was just an oversight in packing the boxes for people, or if they were getting out, I don't know.
There's monkey. Well, it seemed like it makes sense if you did that, because it's speeding up your process of getting it administered and get the patient out the door.
Right.
Right.
Which they do have to sit for a 15-minute time
Yeah.
span, but, I mean, if we're gonna do a big clinic and we're gonna have 200 people come in, it's still gonna be hard to print out an immunization record for every
Right,
time
right.
we give one. It'd be easier to just fill out a card and give it to them still, so. I told Emily, whenever we start giving the remaining doses, not to get rid of that last card, so we can make a copy just in case we don't get those with the rest of the doses we get.
Well, it appears there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Hopefully so. And this vaccine also is for 18 and older, the Moderna is. They don't have any data on giving
Yeah, I
it
saw
to
that.
children yet, so they're still doing trials for things like that. So maybe by the time we reach phase 5, they might have more data on that where we can vaccinate younger demographics. So The Pfizer vaccine is approved for 16 and older, so that's another difference to the two. But that's because they had a little bit more time to do trials than the Moderna. So. Anybody else have anything?
Have you talked to OPI about getting some cards printed up?
No, because since I just found out this morning that they didn't send
If
cards.
Rick
with
comes
this.
in today, you might, I mean, talk to him.
Mhm. Yeah, because I mean, we still have some cards.
Because
so I
I'm
can
pretty
show
sure
it
if
to
somebody
them.
gets shot, they want the card to prove it.
We're either gonna have to print an immunization record out or make a copy of that card so that they have it.
I would bet OPI would do something for you.
Well, the thing that surprises me, that on these cards, if they're, doing all this, getting the vaccines, syringes, the alcohol wipes and all that, these cards should at least have a barcode or the lot number of that vaccine that was in that box.
They don't have a lot number written on them, we have to write it on there ourselves, so.
Do you guys sign the card then, or just?
No, so we have a consent form that we have everybody fill
Yeah.
out. So we sign that one, and we write the vaccine manufacturer, the lot number, the expiration
That's
date, and the date it was given in the site on that. But the card just has the date that it was given, the lot number, and where they received the dose.
Hmm.
So, yeah, and I mean, our first syringe doses, we only got needles and syringes, we didn't get anything else with it besides needles, syringes, and the
It's
cards.
followed from the field to the gym.
Well, I mean, if you
know.
want to pursue that
As
card
soon
thing, I
as
would
it
sure
comes
talk
out,
to
they
Rick.
know records.
And I would think they would at least put the lot number or a barcode on this.
Yeah, you would think.
Anyway,
Yeah.
That's something.
It's just, I don't know.
I can't believe they can't do that. You'd think they could do
You
that
would-
to everybody.
Well, yeah, you would think so.
Like if I was saying, those bales of cotton, when they come out, they've got a chip in them. And
Yes,
immediately the gin knows right where that bale's sitting at. what field it
exactly.
come off
So if they
of.
can do that, why would it be different for a vaccine?
Yeah.
well, it's because there's a microchip in the vaccine. We don't need no stinking.
Oh my goodness. Every time I get asked that question, I'm just like, what size needle do you think that we're injecting with?
18 gauge.
I mean,
They're
seriously,
usually square.
Yeah.
nobody would want to come in and get a
And blood.
vaccine if you're giving injections
Yeah.
with a needle big enough for that. Good grief.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
Yes, you guys have a
Thanks,
good
Shannon.
rest of your day.
Keep up the work.
Thanks.
The good work.
And Ryan gave you his mileage report.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah. I've got something I'd like to talk about again. I don't know if you guys realize it, but I'm still not sold on this district in with Edwards County. I don't follow the concept. I know they sent out flyers and table toppers and newspaper articles, and I've had several meetings with them. And it's gonna be so much more wonderful, but I don't understand how it's gonna help Stafford County and Edwards County. That's kind of like saying, they're still gonna have the same area, but they're still gonna have the same amount of employees. That's like, I farm 10,000 acres and Bryce farms 10,000 acres, and we decide to put our 10,000 acres together, and it makes it all better. I mean, if you're overwhelmed, you need more employees, more equipment. I truly feel that as commissioners, we're elected to do what we think is best for Stafford County. I've had 2 phone calls from 2 different board members that are on extension, and now that they've started having their districting meetings, they were a little surprised of how stuff was actually going to go. On the newspaper articles, flyers, and table toppers that they extension put out before the vote, it basically said on a $100,000 house, it'd raise your property taxes $3, which I think those numbers were misrepresented. But they were just going on the assumption that when you put them together, Stafford County's property taxes is gonna go up $30,000. Edwards County's gonna go down 30. But then on their first meeting with the Equal Pay Act, their main discussions were, K-State Extension was there from K-State, you know, as far as they kind of got a scale where if you work for K-State Extension this long, you should be making this much money. Well, evidently all 4 employees that we have, or that they have, are underpaid. So that's going to be a 23, between the 4 employees, it's going to be $23,000 increase on top of the already 30. The other day when we talked to Amy, since you have 2 districts going together, you have to have a district supervisor. And she said that that was a 10%, you know, raise for that lead extension agent. So that's another more money. So between the raise for a district supervisor, the raises for all the agents, you put that 30 together with the 30 that's going to raise Stafford County. It sounds like when they first discussed Edwards County and Stafford County going together, they thought they kind of had about the same cash reserves. I don't think Edwards County's cash reserves are there, so it's a little bit different. The research I've looked at, the commissioners can rescind our support of this at any time. You basically have to rescind support, post it. The next week you have to do a resolution, and it has to be posted on your agenda that you're going to discuss it, where it lets people know that's for it. If they want to come in, they can. Once there gets to be 3 counties together, then if a county wants to get out of it, the commissioners have to rescind their support for it. And then the governing body of the extension office has to also agree. So it sounds like once you get 3 counties together, if a certain county wants to get out of it, because they don't think it's a good deal for their county, unless they can convince the other counties to let them out, you never can get out of it. And where Stafford County is basically going to be a cash cow on this deal, because our evaluations are higher. I don't see the other counties allowing us to get out. I guess that's some of my thoughts on the districting, and I feel like it was misrepresented to the voters. There's been new information brought up since the election, since the vote. And it kind of, you know, when we had them in here before and they said, you know, we put on all these programs and we can't get people to come to them. And we said, you know, maybe if you put out a quarterly calendar, you know, and told the programs you were putting on, that people would know what the extension was doing. And they were like, there's no way we can afford that. That'd be too expensive. But then when it comes to districting, we can buy full-page articles in the paper, flyers going out to every voter in the county, and table toppers for the restaurant. So I don't know how they can do that, but then they can't put out any kind of information on their programs. So I guess what I'd like to do, I don't know whether I need to make a motion to rescind support for the districting, that we have need to draw up a resolution for next week. Because that's the way I've talked with Mike and Reed, and that's the way I understand it has to be done.
Well, first of all, they voted to do, the county voted to go district.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to go against the will of the voters and do this?
Like I said, I feel like what the information the voters got was misleading.
Well, then we need to get this district supervisor or whatever in here to explain everything, rather than he said, she said, you said, I said, and get this thing ironed out and resolved. Because my fear is that this went to a vote and the people voted. Now, are we going to have another thing like what happened in Washington, D.C.?
I doubt it.
But I just, you know. you're gonna have to accept what the voters decided. So you got this coordinator out there, whatever her name is, that's overseeing all of this. I think we ought to get her in here and let her explain it and what's. I don't know the answer, Todd, but my thoughts are that the people voted to district the two counties, and I think we need to go from there.
I'm just afraid that if we do what you say, and by this time next year when they bring Kyle or Pawnee County in onto the deal, and then we have 3 counties, then our hands are tied. And then for the next 20 years, when people are complaining about the property tax being too high, our hands are tied because, in those leaflets that they put out, I mean, they didn't say anything about generating another taxing entity. I mean, I don't know.
But the districting started over 20 years ago. So it's not new, but I think it's just a thing to be able to survive. I bought into the concept that, if they had specialists where one, could devote all their time to their specialty rather than trying to spread everything out from animal to crops. And to become more specialized, to offer more services. So maybe I was misled.
But when you have services now that people aren't using, why do you need more services that people aren't going to use?
Well, I don't know. I don't know who uses and who don't use, the service of the extension. I'm not a farmer, so I don't know. But
I just know that if we don't do something here pretty quick, that we're not going to have any options of doing anything. And if we rescind our support for it and it turns out it's a wonderful thing and I was wrong on it, we can always go back into it. But if we don't rescind it, then we're stuck in it, whether we like it or not. As I talked with Mike, I've done a lot of reading on it. I talked with Mike and he said that the commissioners could withdraw our support the way I read it, which Nita probably needs to talk to Mike as far as exactly how to do it.
Yeah, that's what, I'd like a little more information on specifically how you do it, because I've read the same thing you've read, and to me, there's a point of interpretation on whether we can rescind it without the board's approval, or it doesn't say the commissioners or the new governing body of the extension district. It says the commissioners, comma, the board. So I'd like an interpretation of the proper procedure, first off,
From Mike.
and second off, there's, at the bottom of that page, there's the distribution of assets, and I don't know whether we're already considered a district right now.
Not until July 1.
Okay, because if you rescind, if you get out of your district once you are a district, there's some language in there about the distribution of assets of both counties, going back. And it's my understanding that Stafford County has more assets as far as capital outlay and other assets than Edwards County. So if you were going to rescind, to me it wouldn't make sense to split up, get in and then get out and then have to split up your assets equally. So that's also something.
So is Mike still around?
I don't know. He looked at his watch and left, so.
So do you want to have Mike come talk to us at the next meeting? As far as it?
Yeah, or we could try to get him over here. I mean, it's 9:45, I don't know.
Let's have Mike come to our next meeting
Okay.
and tell him, we'd like clarification on this.
Okay.
anything else?
I don't know.
We're adjourned.